Today, we're going to talk about the incredible story of Reginald Lewis. This is a man who built a billion-dollar empire, really against all possible odds. His life is just a masterclass in mindset and pure ambition. So how on earth did he do it?
I mean, that's the big question, isn't it? It sounds almost mythical, totally impossible. But Reginald Lewis, he didn't just have an answer to this question, he was the answer. And to really get how, we have to go all the way back to the very beginning.
Just take a look at this picture for a second. This is where it all started. Not in some high-rise office or a fancy boardroom, but in a back alley in a segregated Baltimore. You know, the distance between this street and a billion-dollar fortune feels, well, it feels infinite. So how did he close that gap? It all started with what he was taught to believe about himself.
See, everything Lewis would go on to accomplish was built on this incredibly powerful foundation, a mindset that was forged in his childhood by his family. This, right here, was his secret weapon.
Now, what's so powerful about this is the context. Think about it. This advice came from his grandmother in a time and a place where fear was literally a weapon used for oppression. So this wasn't just some nice, friendly saying. This was a radical act of mental freedom.
And this is absolutely crucial. They didn't just encourage him. The source material actually says they programmed him. It's like they installed this core belief deep inside him, that he was special and that he had something important to give to the world. And that single belief became the engine for everything he did after.
But, you know, a powerful mindset isn't worth much without action. So Lewis took that deep self-belief and he channeled it into two key things: an unbelievably audacious goal and an absolutely relentless work ethic.
Can you just imagine saying that when you're a teenager? He was working a summer job at a country club, and he just casually tells his friend that this was his goal. Not just to be rich, not just successful, but to be the richest black man in America. The sheer audacity of that goal tells you everything you need to know about his ambition. And boy, did he back it up with pure hard grind. He was delivering newspapers, waiting tables, selling school photos. Later in college, he'd wake up at 5 a.m. on his one day off to drive to these rural schools and make sales calls. He'd work all day till dark before driving back to study into the night. That was the hustle behind the dream.
And this just illustrates his commitment to excellence no matter what he was doing. It's a recommendation from his waiting job, and it describes him as entirely dependable, completely trustworthy, and very efficient. He wasn't just killing time, he was mastering every single step on his path. But let's be real, the path to $1 billion is never, ever a straight line. Lewis's most important lessons, they didn't come from his wins. They came from his most crushing failures.
So after he sets up his own firm, he starts trying to acquire companies. And he gets rejected. The source material says he felt it for weeks. You can imagine it was this painful, frustrating time where the dream probably felt like it was slipping right through his fingers.
After another one of these deals fell apart, this thought just kept pounding in his head over and over. I was not ready. Now, this wasn't an excuse. This was a moment of just brutal, honest self-assessment. He didn't blame the world or anyone else. He looked right in the mirror.
And here it is. This is the pivot. This is that mindset in action. He took that painful realization and he turned it into command. Then get ready. He literally transformed failure from being a final verdict into a roadmap. For the next 5 years, he just meticulously prepared, taking all the emotion out of his deals and focusing on cold, hard calculation.
And all of that preparation, all that work, it led him to the summit. He was finally ready for a deal so big, it would literally make history.
Okay, so this wasn't just buying another company. Beatrice International was an absolute behemoth. We're talking a collection of 64 companies spread across 31 countries. This was the big leagues, and Lewis was about to step up and swing for the fences.
You know, even he was in awe of what he was about to do. He actually confessed this to a childhood friend over the phone because he just couldn't keep the secret anymore. He just knew he was on the edge of something absolutely monumental. And get this, he didn't just acquire the company, he made it thrive. By 1990, under his leadership, TLC Beatrice had an operating income of $94.3 million. That's a 56% increase in just 2 years. He proved he wasn't just a deal maker, he was a brilliant leader. What I love about this slide is what it shows about his leadership style. When his team in France completely blew their business plan out of the water, he didn't just send a thank you note. Nope, he flew to Paris and gifted one partner a brand new Corvette and the other a Cadillac. He shared the spoils of success.
But here's the thing you have to understand about Reginald Lewis. The money was never the final destination. It was just a tool. The final chapter of his life? That was all about defining his legacy.
He poured millions into his alma mater, Harvard Law, sure, but he also gave his time, always clearing his schedule to mentor and inspire African American students. He used his influence to back civil rights leaders and political candidates who are out there fighting for a more just world.
So in the end, after achieving this almost impossible financial goal, he pivoted one last time. He decided his real work, his true purpose, was in giving back. He even declared in his final public statement that he was going to devote the rest of his life to social justice.
Honestly, there is no better summary of his entire life than this one line, written for his eulogy. Regardless of race, color, or creed, we are all dealt a hand to play in this game of life. And believe me, Reg Lewis played the hell out of his hand.
And that really leaves us with one final question. For you, Reginald Lewis proved that it's not about the cards you're given at the start, it's all about how you play the game. So take a look at your own hand. What's your audacious goal, and how are you going to play it?